All right, fantastic to be able to celebrate with Duncan. You, my friend, a People's Choice winner at the first ever demo night at Bath Spa University. How does it feel, and what was that experience like for you?
Really lovely. It actually moved a lot quicker. Like five minutes is a short time, but it actually really only felt like sort of 30, 40 seconds. But it was amazing. It was the first time I properly had stood up and talked to a large number of people about what it is, like what Bristol Daddin is, and actually realised kind of how passionate I am about it, I suppose. So that was really, really nice. It was a good feeling. Really nice.
I thought you represented it incredibly well, and obviously as a People's Choice winner, you were voted the favourite by those in the audience that were live voting through Mentimeter and stuff. So that's a pretty special moment for you. And why don't you tell us a little bit about Daddin then, and what's it all about?
Yeah, sure. So in 2021, it was when I became a new father and had moved to Bristol in the pandemic, and then me and my wife had our first son. And my background is kind of in the arts, both as a creator and working in the industry. And what I realised is that actually a lot of my social life and my work life was in the evening. And obviously having a son, I wanted to be more present and be around for him. So a lot of my work and my lifestyle had to shift. I had Tuesdays with my son and my wife had Fridays. But what I found on Tuesdays is that I love the baby classes, I love meeting new people, but predominantly was females. And there's nothing wrong with that. I've many, many good friends who are females and mums that I've met. But I was going, how do I meet other dads in this life stage? How do I talk to them? How do I meet them? And how do I build new friendships, essentially, which when you're a middle-aged man, you don't always kind of think of that kind of stuff. So I got chatting to my now business partner, Kags Diep, and she said to me, well, you need to build a space for them in which to do that. I was like, yeah, I guess that's a really good point. So we trialled a Saturday morning playgroup in South Bristol at BS3 Community Development, and we didn't really know what was going to happen. They gave us the space. We put out some flyers, did some Facebook ads, and sort of just said, there's a dad's playgroup if you want to come. And the first one we ran, there was like 100 dads who came, plus kids. It was completely overwhelming.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was mad. Like, it wasn't staffed well enough. We didn't really have enough food. The cafe wasn't open. We were like, oh my goodness. Okay, there's a need for this then. And it turned out it wasn't just me that was like kind of lacking new friends and wanted to bond with other people, especially men. So,
and is that what they said when they came through the door? That was the reason they'd come along, or was there something else that had driven so many people to the first one?
It's a really good question, and it kind of chops and changes. But I think from the first one, yeah, speaking to some, I think they'd had an NCT group that were sort of loosely, you know, everyone sort of knows that stereotype of men who's like, they engage with the first few weeks and then they sort of retreat and you never hear from them again in the NCT group is the kind of thing. So I think what had happened was there were men who knew other men from the NCT group and went, oh, actually, there's this thing run by this other guy who's got like just a dad's focused play group. Maybe we should go to that. Because again, it's coming back to giving the space, not just a WhatsApp group. So I think that was kind of what happened on those first few ones, and word of mouth in South Bristol, especially Southville, Bedminster area, is quite good at that sort of thing. Like, Bristol's quite a good city for that kind of community aspect of things. So yeah, fasting forward, that was 2 years ago, and now we are monthly. It used to be sort of every 3 months, but now it's monthly, and we have a consistent sort of turnout of between 40 to about 65 people who come religiously.
Okay, amazing. Now, I mean, you were on a demo night which had a whole mixture of stuff from tech to your group, right? Some social enterprise stuff, but how did it, I mean, did you even imagine that you'd become the People's Choice winner, like the favourite of the evening with that kind of spectrum of stuff and those really great presenters there?
Not really. I don't really know what to expect, because I guess what we're doing is mainly kind of, it's people based and not really tech per se. Although ironically, I'm finding that I'm needing more tech stuff, and I'm actually speaking to Laura Gates, one of the other people who presented on that demo night, because she has a great bit of tech which can plug into this. So no, I didn't really expect it. I only found out on the day that a spot had become free and was kind of asked, do you want to do this? Do you want to talk about your dad's thing? And I was like, okay, yes, I could.
And kudos to you for just stepping into the space as well. As you say, it's the first time in public you'd really shouted about this stuff as well. So it's pretty amazing just to go, door is open, I'm walking through.
I think so. Just sometimes you just have to embrace the challenge and the opportunity, even if it scares you, I suppose, which it was a bit scary. But yeah.
Are you saying that the event was scary, or I was scary, or just the opportunity was
Oh
scary?
no, just the opportunity, and especially within 5 minutes to talk about something that you've spent so long building, I think is the challenge in itself. But I guess there's a reason for that, because you want to see like how well does this person be able to summarize what they're doing in a short amount of time, and that's usually quite a good reflection of like an idea if somebody can keep it simple, stupid, I suppose.
Yeah, we have a little saying when we're coaching people to be ready for it, which is, I'm sorry I wrote you a long letter. I didn't have time to write you a short one.
Yeah.
Nice to steal from authors and stuff along the way. So,
Nice.
I mean, what's next for you? Because obviously the way you talk about the group is incredibly compelling, but what you're doing and the benefit to people seems to be really real and authentic for folks. So what's next? Is there a journey of scaling from this, or are you going to keep it tight, keep it the one group like you've got at the moment?
Yeah, it's really interesting because there's such a power in it being so local, and we changed the name actually to Bristol Daddin from BS3 Daddin, because it started in the postcode of BS3, which is South Bristol. We changed it to Bristol Daddin because there were so many people coming from across Bristol and the surrounding towns and villages. So people were starting to get confused, like, am I allowed here? Because it says BS3. So we changed it to Bristol Daddin because, of course, anyone's welcome who identifies as dad, who has a kid between 0 and 5. But we are getting to the point where people are now so invested in it that they're sort of going, well, can I also do, I don't know, like a mountain biking thing, or I want to do like gigs, or I just had a conversation this week with a company called Huddlecraft, who you might have come across through a Canopy thing, but they organise like kind of incubators, I suppose, where you can pick a topic and talk about fatherhood or certain aspects of fatherhood. So there's lots of different like little offshoots happening. So I am kind of finding myself in a position to go, okay, is it opening more playgroups and writing a playbook for people to go and do it themselves? So it can happen in that respect, or is it kind of more building the brand and kind of trying to create revenue streams from that brand? So we are at a bit of a crossroads in terms of what to do. It is just me and my business partner, Kags, who run it. So we're also kind of looking for somebody who can come in to help us do some facilitation, so help with some fundraising, just to give us another kind of point of view of that as well. And I guess eventually that will lead to a board. So yeah, it feels like we're kind of quickly running, and I'm sort of playing to catch up a little bit, if that makes sense. So I haven't really got a straight answer for you of like, that's definitely what's going to happen, because being a dad of 2 and also having a part-time job at the university and running this, I've only got so many hours in a day. You know what I mean?
You're definitely juggling a little bit there, right?
Yeah, I am. So yeah, we do need another perspective and another pair of hands at some point.
Okay. Well, obviously, as a People's Choice winner, you've received 12 months virtual incubation at Canopy as well. So
yeah,
it gives you access to all the mentors. It gives you access to the peer group of People's Choice winners of this year. So you're in a special place there where you can chat to them, and they're all in similar stages to you. A few a bit more advanced, a few a bit behind actually, because you've got more customer validation at this point than quite a few people would expect. So so you've got peer support there, you've got expert support, and you've got a whole load of content that can help you to thrive, and we will keep pace with you over the next 12 months and hopefully help you along the way when you need it. So, you know, really wish you every success.
Great, thank you. Appreciate
now
that.
Great moment for the tribal handshake at the end, like and we talked about this before the session today. Like, how would you advise somebody to embrace that moment at demo night and become a People's Choice winner like you? What's your best guidance for them?
I think really is the power of these things. Like, you've only got 5 minutes, and you could bring up a lot of statistics on your slides and try and get as much evidence across as possible to go, this is how it's performing, this is what we're doing, all that type of thing. But I think ultimately, like, storytelling kind of always wins out. You've only got 5 minutes to communicate, this is what I do, this is why it matters to me, and this is why it also matters to other people and the rest of the world, and this is why it helps society, or, you know, what's the why of what you're doing. I think if you can get that across, most people connect with that on some sort of emotional level, and that's really, you can do all the stats after you convince them of what you're doing, I think. So yeah, I would just say, how are you going to connect with people? And it's usually you're asking questions. I started mine with 2 questions, like, who in this room has a dad? Who thinks that their dad would have benefited from having more friends when they were younger? So you immediately make it about them, not about you. And that is much more powerful than trying to just shove a load of information at people about what you're doing is so valuable, I suppose.
I thought the second of those questions was incredibly good. I thought it really stimulated a lot of thought and conversation, and I reflected after the session that all of the presentations were good on the night, but yours actually connected with me the strongest as well, and it was the power of your storytelling. You helped me think about how it resonated with my own life, but it was really that second question that kicked that one through. You could have almost stopped after that second question, and you basically had me. It was a Jerry Maguire moment. It was kind of like, I'm interested in this already.
Thank you.
But well done, and I hope anybody who's watching this follows that advice, because you're an artist, right? You've got this kind of creative background, and storytelling's a little bit more in your DNA than, say, some of the technical founders that we work with and things. So it's really interesting how you took that on. All right. So what's next for you after this? What are you going to be up to with Daddin? What's when's the next meetup and stuff?
Yeah, so the next playgroup is the 20th of June in Southville in Bedminster, St Paul's Church. It's where we are every time we run. And then we're actually having a little summer break in July and August because we've actually been invited up to Forwards Festival, which is up on Clifton Down, and it's on the bank holiday weekend in August. So last year we went up there and we took my friend of mine built a big chalkboard that stood on legs, and we just put the question of what would you tell a new dad, and people came and gave their answers to that. So we're going to be back up there in August. We might do the chalkboard again, or I'm sort of having meetings at the moment to go, how can we actually make this more interactive and stimulate more conversation? So yeah, last playgroup is 20th of June. We've got a summer break, and then we're back on the 5th of September in the same place. So probably in that summer gap, we'll be using the Canopy Community resources to go zooming out a little bit from running it and kind of going, okay, how do we maybe pivot or keep the playgroup consistent, but also add some value to other things as well. Yeah, it's an exciting time. It's good.
Fantastic. Well, it's been great to meet you through that event at Bar Spa. Really glad that you're part of the People's Choice winners now, and wish you every success.
Thank you, Stuart. I really appreciate the opportunity. It's been lovely. Really good.